I'm just going live on YouTube, so some of the students
That's right.
can go from
Okay.
there also.
Okay.
Good morning, all of you. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll just start in a minute. Let others also join in. All right, we'll start with the session today. A very good morning and welcome to the day 4 of the induction program. I hope all the students have got settled down with the induction program and have got familiarized with the institute. DVTU IHMCT has a lot of resources and staff that want you to succeed. The main thing you need to remember is to enjoy the journey, celebrate the accomplishments, learn from the mistakes, and never let them deter you from your goal. We are not perfect. We will make errors, but these errors should not dampen our spirits. Those are a part of learning. Just tell yourself, you will succeed, you will do well. Welcome to the community once again. It is said, dress to impress. No doubt, wardrobe plays an important role in appearance, but it's grooming, etiquette, and fitness that makes the biggest impression. The greatest and most powerful people in the world have one aspect common, which are good manners. Irrespective of the money power and the muscle power he or she has, manners and characteristics of a person speak volumes. So today, we have with us Ms. Aparna Pasi, who is a dynamic human resource professional with extensive experience in recruitment, retention, training, and customer service. He has been associated with hospitality brands such as the Oberoi, Trident Nariman Point, Westin Mumbai, JW Marriott, and Oberoi Grand Kolkata. She is currently working as Assistant General Manager, Human Resource, Kalpataru Limited, where she's managing 9 departments. Wow, ma'am, that's a huge success. We welcome you on board. Sorry. Ma'am, we welcome you on board and request you to please address the students.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashima. Just a little correction. I'm not working. I'm currently working with Third Arm Consulting as a director.
All right. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
so sorry.
okay. That's not a problem. It was anyways. Okay, good. So very good afternoon, good morning rather, everybody. Students, I would please request all of you to keep your mics on mute because so that, we have a better experience in terms to understand the topic. And first of all, a very warm welcome to the Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Pune. I think it's a great thing and it's only nostalgic for me to see because 15 years down the line, I was in your shoes. I was myself sitting in the induction room. The only difference is that it was not through the camera. It was just maybe physically done. But I think we should be happy with the fact that how we are able to connect in that. May I please request everybody to put your mics on mute? I think that will be better so that we have a better experience. Mohit, I've just muted you if that's okay with you. Ranjit, if you could please mute yourself. Thank you. All right. We're going live on YouTube and I would not really want anybody to be talking in between so that we have a glitch-free experience. All right. Now, guys, how we're going to proceed with this session. Okay, just give me a minute. I'm going to mute all of you together. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. I'm going to mute all of you. Nikita, please mute yourself. Nikita Poonam. I'm going to mute all of you together so that we have a better experience. Perfect. There you go. All right. So let me just start sharing my screen again. Okay. So how we're going to go with this session is we're going to use our feature of chat box. You all know what is the chat box in your Zoom. I'm sure you can see it. Write in a lot of answers. That's how we're going to interact. And the topic that we're going to discuss today about is importance of grooming, etiquettes, and fitness. Okay. And believe me, guys, it's not only true in hospitality or a guest-oriented service industry. It is applicable in any industry. Grooming, etiquettes, and fitness go a long way. And I'm going to make you experience something very different in the coming few slides so that you understand, what is the importance of grooming in this. Okay. So if you all are ready, I want you to put ready on the chat box. If you're watching this on the YouTube, you can put that on the comment section. If you're ready for this, I need to check your energy levels. Please slide that I'm ready on the chat box. Fantastic. I get 1 from Praveen. Mohit says I'm ready. Pratmesh says I'm ready. Okay. Dr. Sunita says ready. Shantanu says ready. Samruddhi says I'm ready. Fantastic. I'm waiting for some more energies to come in. Kriti says I'm ready. Wow. POCO with a big smile. Thank you. That's so kind. Divyanshu says ready. Evie says ready. Kasturi says, Parth says I'm ready. Omkar ready. Fantastic. So I have a great energy level in the group. And I think that's the first key thing of a great grooming standard, right? Blaring out of energy. That is so important. And you all are proving it right. So if you're doing this well, I'm sure you're going to have a great understanding of the entire topic. Okay. So keep using this chat box. Extremely important. I'm going to be using this a lot so that, I can keep talking. You fantastic. So many of you are going on ready, 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 ready. Great. I like the way Sibi has written ready with so many Y's. I love the emojis that are falling in. So please keep putting in as much as interaction you can. I think that's only going to help us to make this session more interesting. So let's start with the importance of grooming, etiquettes, and the fitness in our industry. Now, you all are in the first year, right? You just entered in the first year. And I think you should feel special because you are not in a college as of now. You're at your home and you're actually studying. So you are like the new era for the entire education system. I'm sure you'll have a lot of stories to talk to your future generation, which is going to come in. So enjoy this experience as much as possible. All right. So I'm going to give you a task now. We're going to be talking about grooming and I'm going to give you a task and I'm pointing all of you as the general managers of a hotel, of an industry, as a senior person. All right. I am an HR manager of your particular organization, and I come to you with some candidates. Now you'll have to tell me whether you will be able to select them or not. Am I good? If you are, please write yes if you're ready. If you're ready to make sure that you're the general manager, take it on. Just write I take on. Yes, I'm ready. Okay. So I'm going to show you some candidates. Fantastic. So I don't know many of your names. Ready, ma'am. Nawaz says I take on. Fantastic, Nawaz. That's good listening skills. Divyanshu says take on. Fantastic. So I'm going to be presenting you now the first candidate. All right. And let me see whether you're going to select him or not, and select him on the basis of the first impression. All right. And keep your chat box ready because you have to write your answers. All right. So let's start with the first candidate, guys. What do you think about him? Put it on the chat box. Would you want to interview him? Would you want to take it further? Anybody? Let me see. I'm waiting for your answers. No, Sarang says no. Kirti says no. My God. Rohan says no. But why? Can somebody write why no? What is the problem with this gentleman? Don't look at him as Abhishek Bachchan, but why? Why not him? If anybody could write, what is the problem with him? Anybody could tell me in the chat box. There's so many no's. They're coming.
Mama didn't say anything.
Issue with? Sorry?
I didn't say anything, Mom. You're saying that I'm saying no.
Okay, that's not a problem. Don't worry. I've just read the chat. Maybe it would have come. Sarang says, I don't think he's... So, guys, if he comes for an interview, are you going to select him? Just say yes or no. His appearance. Thank you. So, Sibi says his appearance. Okay, so you are going to not select him. Divyanshu says grooming. Mohit says not groomed. Okay, let me present to you the second person. Let me change him a little bit. What do you think about him now? You think you're going to take him on board or interview him? Do you think he's interview ready for you? Anyone? No, not yet. You're very strict, all of you. Sarang, no. Pratmesh says maybe. Okay, now you're at least coming to maybe. Okay. So don't worry. I'm going to get you some more candidates. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next candidate. How about him? Are you ready to interview him? Would you be interviewing him? Anyone? No, no, no. So many no's are coming. Why no? Please, when you write no, I want a reason, like not groomed, hair is bad, clothes are not very formal, not at all. Somebody says not at all. Okay. Okay, hairy. Okay, long hair, right? So very unkempt. Okay, so let me go to the next person. How about him? Would you be taking him if somebody walks into the interview like this in your organization? No. And please give me a reason why no. Why no? Some girls are saying yes, I know, but I'm sure it's because of the grooming. Will that be the case? Would you be wanting to taking him? We can't judge them by personality, but we have to see on their grooming, right? And we're going to be talking about it, right? But he's wearing formals, that's right. However, the glasses is something which is not acceptable. Okay. How about him? So there are different shades of grooming that you're seeing right now. Okay, so people are saying yes, 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 yes. But can I tell you something? In our industry, we don't allow hair colors, and he's got hair coloring on him. And if you surely go to the general manager like this with the pattern tie, okay, and unshaved look with colored hair, you may not be the right choice for them in terms of grooming. Okay, so I want you to see it with an extra eye to understand whether you want to do it. So I know you're in two minds, maybe, maybe not. How about him? Oh my God, so many of no's, right? Absolutely not well groomed, correct? Not at all. Okay, great. Sorry for this. Next. How about him? That's good one. A lot of interaction, a lot of energy on the chat box. What about him? Not at all, right? You don't want comedians in the hotel. He's completely unkempt. He's not someone that you would want to come with. Okay, let's start with the next person. What do you think about him? What about him? Okay, not at all. Perfect. You guys are super strict. How about him? No, yes, yes, no. But let me tell you, there's certain things in the gentleman who's in front of you. As per the industry, if he comes in, may not be selected because, you know, we don't really allow French beard in hotels. Okay. How about him? I'm sure, yes, a lot of yeses are going to come in. But look at the nitty-gritty of everything. Okay, good. So, guys, the reason I showed you, you know, first of all, I don't want you to take them as celebrities. Okay. And of course, they were a little outwardly dressed up. But the reason I wanted to show you these pictures was to tell you on the fact that it is so important for you to understand that a little bit of mix of colors, little bit of being not shaved, your nails not being well groomed, or you're not maybe wearing a pattern and a disciplined color combination for your own dress and attire can make a huge difference in terms of grooming. And let me tell you guys, in a hotel, so you guys, you know, just entered your first year. I thought I'm going to just quickly talk about the guest cycle in a hotel. Okay. And then I'm going to relate it to the fact that how grooming, your etiquettes and fitness is important and, you know, would be important in the entire thing. So let's see, if you see in the guest cycle, a guest who checks in into a hotel, his relationship with the hotel actually starts very early. Okay, it starts from the time at the reservation, and the moment his reservation is confirmed, a hotel employee meets him at the airport. Okay, so you're meeting a guest representing your brand at the airport, all right, and representing the brand and the culture of your organization. Okay, number two, when he comes into the hotel, you take him at the check-in. Okay, so at the front desk, you are checking a guest in, all right. Then third, once the check-in happens, he will go to your various facilities of the hotel. He'll experience the housekeeping service. He's going to experience the food and beverage service. He's going to be experiencing the spa, the gymnasium, and the different facilities. And he's obviously going to be having a farewell, which is checkout. Now, I want you to put it on the chat box to tell me, who is he experiencing overall in the entire hotel? Is he experiencing people? Is he experiencing the product? Or is he experiencing the brand? Anybody? Who do you think is he meeting the maximum at every point in step, at every cycle and at every step? Who do you think? Fantastic, Pratmesh. People. Divyanshu says service. Yash says staff. Shruti says people. That's right. Staff, people like you and me. And imagine the fact that if a person who comes to a restaurant and a chef comes to greet him, or a food and beverage person comes to greet him, and he has an apron which is stained, that will be really putting off, because you would be working in a 5-star hotel, and in a 5-star hotel, a guest comes for a lot of comfort with the trust that I'm going to be getting into something which is very well groomed. So ladies and gentlemen, grooming is a very sharp combination of style and discipline. Extremely important for all of you to understand. It is very important for you to know that when you represent a hotel, you actually build your own personal brand. The fact that you did not, you just wrote no for not selecting one candidate that I showed you at the start was only because you thought he is not appropriate. And that ways a guest can also build into the fact that building your personal brand is extremely important. I'm sure you have heard of this famous quote that, first impression is the last impression. In fact, I say you have to create a lasting impression. Why do I say a lasting impression? Because your impression does not end at the airport. Your impression does not end at the check-in. Your impression does not end at the spa or the gymnasium. It is in the entire guest cycle when you're making an impact to a guest. Okay. So you build your own personal brand. First thing first is to create a lasting impression of yours, because that is so important. And you know what? The first impression that can do magic and wonders for you is that you smile. Okay. That can really help you to build and start building a rapport with the guest. So promise me that when you meet a guest, you give him a broad smile, you greet him, because you're creating your own personal brand. And please remember, you're representing the culture of your hotel. So it helps you to create the lasting impression of yours. You showcase your strengths. You know what happens? I'm sure you will agree with me, and put a yes on the chat box if you agree with me. You have scientists. Okay, if you have a scientist, you have an image which is built in your mind that he'll be someone who will have spectacles. He'll be someone who will be wearing a lab coat all the time. If you see a doctor, you would imagine him with stethoscope and maybe a lab coat and maybe clean, perfect gloves surgical gloves or maybe masks in today's time, especially. That's what it is, right? So many of you saying yes to it. You have to remember that as a person in a hotel, okay, when you are a hotelier, it's so important for you to know that you showcase your strengths. So if I'm a chef and I'm telling you, sir, come and dine with me in this COVID times, when don't worry, I'm safe. And if I don't have my own hygiene and personal hygiene and grooming in order, do you think you're going to trust that person? I don't think so, right? So it's so important that you showcase your strength or the things that give you an edge, that gets you acknowledged and appreciated. And believe me, whenever you feel good, you do good, correct? It is so important for you to make sure that you acknowledge and have that appreciated. And third is you get an opportunity to initiate in business. Now tell me something, guys. If you go to a mall, all right, and I want some energy flowing in the chat box as well on that. If you go to a mall and you want to buy, a milk packet, you have two products in front of you. There is a product A, which is very well branded, colorful, has all the information, has a small photograph to it. And there are a lot of references there, that this milk is gives you this much of boosting. There's some marketing there. Whereas there is another milk product, which is a little drab. The carton is a little folded. There is no photograph that we have. Which one do you think you're going to be taking? Would you be taking the product A, which is well, or would you be taking the product B? Fantastic. So Kirti says A first, Shantanu Hey Devyanshu, that's all right. So, and Yash, such an important point. I will buy the one with all the information. That's exactly what is we have in terms of a personal brand. Product A is now successful to make an impression in front of you so that you buy him, all right? And that's exactly what is the importance of grooming, ladies and gentlemen. It gives you an opportunity to initiate a business. When a guest comes into a hotel, he will come with a lot of appeal that is built onto it. So that is something which is extremely, extremely important. All right. That is something that you all need to make sure that is there. Okay, so let's get on to that, and it's there. If you're with me, please write WM on the chat box. You're with me, you understand the importance of building up a personal brand, because it's not you, it's actually the entire hotel that you think. Fantastic, great. Second thing about grooming that I'm going to be talking about is why should we groom well? And I'm going to be telling you a little bit about, what are the few combinations that you can use that can come very handy in terms of grooming. But when I say why groom, because first impression is a lasting impression. We spoke about it. You also show that you care. Now, guys, I want you to put this on the chat box and tell me, I have a question for all of you. Today is COVID times, okay? And there are a lot of commitments that the brand is doing. Come and dine with us. We are safe, okay? Come and buy stuff from my shop. I'm safe. I sanitize my stuff. What does this show? What does this show about the brand that is talking? It shows about the fact that they care, right? Impression is important. Very well put, Shantanu. Care. Praveen says care, right? This is very important. If you are crafted well, if you are well groomed, if you show the fact that you're smiling, there is a little bit of care and empathy that you show, it basically says that you are caring, and a guest would be attracted to you because you care. When you go in an airline, why do you see air hostesses or air hosts or cabin crew or the pilots being well groomed? Because you can't expect them to picking up from the bed and just coming to you and greeting you, right? You've paid for it, correct? You paid for the ticket and expect a kind of service. So it's just a care that it shows. I would like to read what Rohan has written. He's written, first of all, it makes us feel good about ourselves and makes us confident, and our confidence intrigues the guest, and in turn we gain his confidence. Fantastic. Such a beautifully, so well, beautifully put. It is so important for all of you to understand that when you actually look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. And I'm going to be giving you an example with that as well. Okay. Number 3, which is so important, is, as I said, to do good. Now imagine if it's your best friend's wedding, okay, and you want a beautiful gown, or you're wearing the best of the suit, and it is raining a little heavily, and get out of the banquet hall, and all of a sudden there's a car which comes in, and there's a pool of water that comes on your trousers and shoes. How would you feel? You put it on the chat box. I'm sure you'll feel very disgusted. You'll feel very sad, right? What would you feel? What would you feel? Let me see some of you telling me some answers. Right, absolutely. See, some of you already telling me I'll feel sad. So Darshan is with this big sad face. Disappointed, sad, disgusting. And do you think you'll be able to enjoy the wedding? What are you going to do first? You're not going to be going to the wedding, hugging your friend. You're going to go to the washroom first and start correcting yourself. You're not feeling good, and hence you do not wish to dance. You may not want to rejoice. Your first attention is only to ensure that you correct yourself, that you look good. And that's the fundamental for grooming as well, guys. It is so important for you to basically make sure when you look good, you have to do good, because when you do good, you actually feel good. And that is something which is very, very important. All right. So that is something that we all need to understand, that why we need to groom well is because it's for a lasting impression. And I promise you guys, in the next 3 years, this is today just your induction time. In the upcoming 3 years, this point would be waned in you a lot. And when you successfully complete your industrial training and when you become professionals, when you start with your interviews, this is the first point that the interviewer is going to see, that how well are you smiling? Are you looking good? Are you able to carry yourself well? Because always remember, grooming is a combination of a style and discipline. Why I say discipline? Because there's so much of discipline in terms of color tone and the colors that you're wearing and the reflection that it given, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. All right. So that is something important. Now, always remember, in terms of dressing, okay, make sure that whatever you dress up in hotels, and you would have seen the uniform, you'll never see loud colors. It should always be a very subtle color. It should be appropriate. So that's the reason, you will not have sleeveless. You will not have something which is extremely stylish. You're not going to have something, you're not be allowed to wear a lot of rings. Because when you work in a hotel, ladies and gentlemen, it's about handling a lot many things together. Okay, when you're working in a restaurant, I remember when I was a restaurant manager, I used to always think, before, why are ladies not allowed to grow their nails and put nail paint? But when I started working in the restaurant, I realized it's really not very handy, because you will have chipped nails like in 10 minutes. The reason being is there's so much of clearance, there's so much of work, you have to meet the guests, there is so much of guest comments, tea, coffee, there's so much of buzz happening in the restaurant. All these things doesn't make sense. Plus, there's a hygiene factor to it, right? If a nail chips and gets into the food, the guest is going to complain. So that is why we have to remember that the hotel uniform or the grooming, which is always made up, it's always appropriate accordingly to the environment of the hotel. That is something important. And of course, it should be as per standards. So I'm going to be talking, when I talk about the standards, let me just quickly talk about the importance of grooming. Okay. Now, I always say hoteliers are second army. Okay. You know how army men are? Can some of you write some features of the army men? Very well groomed, haircut, they have the typical haircut. Why do they do that? So because when they're working, when they're training is so harsh, what happens in that case? They don't want any interference. In a similar way, in hotels, it's so important for all of you to be fit, to be well groomed, because you have to show it to the guest that you care. Otherwise, why would he come to you and dine with you if you do not look good, if you do not do well, if you do not have that authenticity in you? Okay. After all, we're selling a unique experience to the guest more than anything else, right? Fantastic. So many of you writing like a pro, disciplined, perfectly dressed, polite attitude. Fantastic. So many of these. And I'm so happy to see so many of you talking about this already, guys. So it's very important for all of you to make sure that you have this discipline and role. So I'm going to be talking about ladies and gentlemen separately. So let's start with ladies. Now, when I talk about the fact that ladies, you need to be well groomed and you need to be disciplined, it is so important for you to make sure that the hair that you wear, okay, it should be mostly tied in a bun. Okay. The reason the hoteliers or ladies always have hair tied in a bun is a simple reason. When you work in a food establishment, you do not want your hair strand to go and fall in the food. It's not hygienic. All right. Number two, it gives you a uniform look to the entire staff. If you have short hair, then it's okay. Then you don't have to put it in the bun. However, if you have long hair, there are 2 to 3 styles which are recommended by the hotels. And that is something which is taken and looked after for. Number two, for grooming, ladies, you must wear makeup. Okay, when I say makeup, it should be subtle. Please don't become a clown by putting too much of rouge and very dark lipstick and too much of makeup. Very subtle. Wear a foundation. Make sure that you have a subtle eye makeup with eyeliner, kajal, and a light stroke of eyeshadow, which should be matching with the color of your uniform. Don't wear something extra red and a uniform is in a sari which is white. You know, when I was working with the Oberoi group, we used to have saris, we used to have pink peacock color saris, and we used to have white color saris. So we were allowed to wear the eyeshadow which could match subtly with it. It was a pink color. We never wore a loud pink, because at the end of the day, you're not going in a loud party, right? You're going in a professional organization. So make it a point that you do your makeup well. Your facial hair should not be there. Okay, ensure that you have personal hygiene. Your nails should be always manicured. And if you're working in kitchen, housekeeping, or food and beverage service, then you're not allowed to put your nail paints, because then it may react with the food. And as we said, we don't grow nails after a certain level. Our therapists are again not allowed to grow their nails as well. That is something which is very, very important. Okay, in terms of your dresses, ladies and gentlemen, wear a sari, ladies, make it a point that you wear a chiffon or a georgette or maybe a silk. Avoid wearing a cotton sari, with the reason being very easily, and then it gives you a very unkempt look. And make it a point, whenever you wear a sari, it is worn and draped in a better manner. That's with the ladies. In terms of jewelry, ladies, we should never wear something which is dangling. It should always be in form of a stud, because it can be very distractive when you work. We do not allow you to wear a lot of rings in the hand. Only one ring per hand is there, and we never wear rings in the index finger. Okay, we always maybe wear it in, never in the index finger. So make it a point that you're well dressed, because after this, if you do that, it is so important for you to feel good and you'll see that you're well dressed, you're confidently presenting yourself in front of the guests. So that is important. And if you're wearing shoes, they're always closed. Make sure that they're polished. Okay, in terms of gentlemen, it's a must to be clean shaved. French beard, or maybe having some, suttles over here, or maybe long sideburns is not permitted. So there's a certain kind of discipline that the hotels work with. So you need to make sure that you're clean shaved. When you wear a uniform, okay, it has a certain pattern. What is most important in case of ladies and gentlemen is that the uniform should be spot free. It should be immaculate. That is something which is very important. So whether it's the crease of your trouser, whether it's the perfect knot of your tie, everything needs to be immaculate, and it has to be color coded. So guys, for gentlemen, if I have to really say it, the color of the tie should match the color of the pocket square. Okay, the color of your belt should match the color of your shoes. Okay, and the color of the socks should match the color of your trousers. Could you please, Rutvik, please mute your mic, please. Rutik, mute your mic. Please be very careful. My guys. Okay. Thank you. Grooming, there has to be discipline in it. And this is going to be so handy, especially in the interviews. Make it a point that the color of your tie matches the color of your pocket square. The color of your belt matches the color of your shoes. The color of your socks should match the color of trousers. Style and discipline. It's not about just putting best of the makeup or wearing best of the suits into your grooming, so that it represents and looks well. So that is something which is very, very important. And of course, a correct body posture. Never be meeting a guest with crossed arms. You should always be open. Of course, these are COVID times now. We obviously have a lot of protocols not doing that. That is something which is very, very important. All right. So make it a point that when I say when you're well groomed, please remember, and I want all of you to put this on the chat box, grooming is style plus discipline. If you write that, I will get an understanding that you understand it's not only about just putting the best of the makeup or looking into it. You have to be disciplined in terms of a color coded. You have to be disciplined in terms of your etiquettes. You have to be disciplined in terms of your confidence, your smile, all that carries so much. Fantastic. So if you could please write, grooming is style and discipline. So Samruddhi is the first one, style plus discipline. Fantastic. So on style and discipline, such a cool and a unique combination, right? We're well groomed, we're disciplined, and we're well styled. What else do we need? And which industry allows you to do so much? They actually allow you to make yourself the best version of yourself in front of the guest, simply because you have to get a good guest experience. And believe me, that really, really matters. Thanks a lot. Fantastic. So many of you. If you have questions, I can see some questions on the chat box. Don't worry, I'm going to take your questions at the end, and I promise you to answer all your questions. Okay, so don't worry, you can keep them packed with you. All right, style plus discipline. So I'm so glad that you've understood. Remember these two words. So whenever you dress up, whether it's for hotels, whether it's for a personal party, whether it's for an event, always remember a sense of discipline will make a lot of difference to you. All right, so that is something which is very, very important. Now, what happens is when you are well groomed, when you feel good, you do good, there is an instilling of confidence that comes in. But can I tell you something, guys? This is just a first step. Just because you're smiling, just because you're standing and looking well is not enough for a guest experience. So that's when the importance of etiquettes come into being. Now look at this little picture that I put. If it's a guest, okay, you cannot really have crowd in front of the guests. So etiquettes is nothing but your mannerisms. Now tell me something, and I want you to put this on the chat box, especially to anybody. You're walking on late at night alone, all right, and there is a car which there are few gentlemen just around, talking in a loud manner. Would you feel comfortable? Would you feel comfortable in an environment like this where you're all and is there no right? You say that very confidently. And that's the part of an etiquette. That is something important. Shantanu says, I'll be uncomfortable. Part of it. And that's why I love hotel business, ladies and gentlemen, or a guest-centric environment. The simple reason being, everything can be related to you. If you are not comfortable, imagine a guest who comes to a hotel, okay? He doesn't know anything about, doesn't know much about the city. He is in an unfamiliar environment. And if he is greeted with no smile, if he's greeted with a very poor product, if he's greeted with someone who's very unkempt, he's not going to feel comfortable, right? Because every time they'll be in back of the mind, am I safe here? Okay, so am I going to be treated well? Okay, so it is so important for you to understand that feeling safe allows guests to relax and get comfortable in an unfamiliar setting. Okay, I always tell this to when I used to be the banquet manager, I used to tell this to my students and my team members in the briefing as well, that it is so important for you to understand that feeling safe allows guests to relax and get comfortable in an unfamiliar setting. Okay, so that is something which is very, very important. Now the guest will not do that. He's come here to enjoy. So making it a point to make the guest feel comfortable. How do you make a guest feel comfortable? Through a smile. Okay, you have those courtesies in order, and I'm going to give you some example with live examples of the hotels. Respects them to making feel safe and make them feel comfortable. Hotels are called home away from home. You know why they're called home away from home? Because it's a comfortable environment. It is something when you return home from college or maybe from a tiring trip, what happens? Everything is ready. Mama gives you, welcomes you, your family is there, you'll get good warm food, you have a bed to sleep, you'll relax. In a similar way, guys, if you expect the same service, why won't a guest expect on that? And that's when the importance of etiquettes come into it. Okay, so that is something which is very important. Am I audible now? If I'm audible, you can write yes. It could be a little bit of
Yes,
network
yes.
lag because of the concern. All right,
Yes.
so then it is very, very important for you to understand on that. Fantastic. Okay, great. Thank you. So many of you saying yes, so that's great. Now let's talk about the etiquettes. Okay, the power of etiquettes. Now look at this gentleman on the right. He is smiling. He's serving a cup of tea to a guest. Okay, he had an option to just say good morning sir, cup of tea, and leave. He did not do that. Instead, what do you see in this picture? Can you put something on the chat box? What do you think you see in the picture? What do you see in the picture? The first thing which is talking to you in the picture, can anybody write? Politeness towards guests. Shubham says smile. Very good, smile. He's smiling. All of you are hooked on to his smile. Good behavior, right? Very good, Vrunda. Good point. Jayesh says serving, smiling. Yash says etiquette, right? It's so simple. You can actually go and just put a cup of coffee or a tea in front of the guest. He may not notice this, but this gentleman is making an effort to put up to him as a guest appearance or the good appearance, because his etiquette is pertaining to the standard. So ladies and gentlemen, first rule of an etiquette is to smile and show the warmth. Okay, if you go as a guest to any of your relatives or in your professional or personal life, you would expect someone to smile. In a similar way, as hoteliers, we are making sure that we smile at guests, because that's the first part of the etiquette. Okay, number two, which is important, is treating people with kindness. Can I tell you something? If say for example, I remember I was at the restaurant, and there was this lady who had two kids. Okay, and the restaurant was extremely busy, and she was waiting for a food to come, and it was getting delayed. One of my team members requested the chef, saying that, chef, the pasta of the kids, if that can be hurried up, because kids are really hungry. Okay, and the mother is looking very despaired. She was not able to say anything. So what we did as hoteliers, or as at the Oberoi hotels, we actually got some toys, and we got some little French fries, because at the food counter behind we have certain fries which are ready. We give them a bowl of French fries and some toys, and the kids got super engaged, right? That is what is called treating people with kindness. Let me tell you another example. uh, you know uh, there was this kid who was actually, he drew his, at the breakfast time, he drew his entire family on a, on a sheet of paper. He had made a little picture. Okay, and he left it after the breakfast. What did one of the team members did? He thought that it was special because he just, made a little family of himself. He got that picture framed, and when the guest came next morning for the breakfast, that was gifted to the entire family as a gift. They were so delighted. What happened over here? It is just the power of positivity. It's just the power of saying that we care, and it's the power of kindness and good behavior. It makes so much of difference. You see elderly couple, go and help them. You see gentlemen who are, picking up their own suitcase, go and help them, because hotels is all about good etiquette, because it pertains to the standard. And without it, guys, let me tell you, particularly in hospitality industry, it's our job to make sure that we treat people with a lot of importance. Okay, because I'll tell you, it's a vicious cycle. Okay, the guests are happy, they experience our service. When they check out, they go out and talk to 10 other people, this hotel is a good hotel, or this restaurant was a bad restaurant, and word of mouth makes so much of difference. All right, so make it a point to do that. So guys, can you please write, I commit, on the chat box, that I will make sure to thrive my hotel business. I will make sure that I'm at best of my behavior. I'm going to be treating people with kindness and help them as much as possible. So can I have some commitments? Fantastic. Nawaz says commit, Omkar says commit, Saurav says commit, Shubham says commit, Shivanshi says commit. Yes, yes, yes. And that's so important. That is a success of a beautiful guest experience. Always imagine that if you were in his shoes, what are you going to feel? And that is something there. And the reason I love hospitality businesses, because there is, the only thing you have to think is, how would I feel? Would I feel special in this particular position? Would I feel special if I am doing that? So it's so important. It's like, a guest is expecting a rose, but you're actually giving him a bouquet. So that is something which is extremely important. Fantastic. I love the commitments that are flowing on the chat box. Okay. So guys, good etiquettes make a guest feel important. And that's the job. It does not only make your sale quick, but it makes a long-term relationship. Because जो guest जा रहा है, वो दोबारा आएगा because of your service. He may not really come for the hotel per se, but he will come for a Jayesh or a Rutuk or a Vishal or a Shruti or a Saurabh, right? So many of you, sorry if I can't take everybody's name, but that's what he's going to come for. A guest comes back for service. Now imagine if one of you have a birthday party, and you ask your friend, which restaurant should I go? You're going to go to a restaurant where you get importance. So for example, I let me pick up a name. So I see Jayesh Jadhav. Okay, so Jayesh, if you go to a restaurant, all right, and a person who comes to you say, welcome back sir, how are you? Would you feel nice? Just write yes or no. Anybody, I'm sure if you see that somebody's already saying barbecue nation, look at the power, right? So Jayesh, thank you, he's saying yes. Why? Because somebody is giving you an importance of saying welcome back. I remember you, sir. You came last month with your family. How are you? Such a delight to see you. Look at the behavior and the memory the person is showing in. Makes so much of difference, guys. So, and that's what we called as anticipation of service. Etiquette is equal to anticipation. Can you put that on the chat box, please? Etiquette is equal to anticipation. You know, examples like open the door for the guest, hand him a pen, reach out for the bag that he's carrying, right? So I want you to understand it. So like we understood the formula of grooming is style and discipline, I want you to understand the formula of etiquette is nothing but anticipation. Fantastic. So I see Sudarshan already doing that. And you know, these things that I'm telling you guys, you can also inculcate in your interview answers. Okay. If an interviewer is asking you about the guest service, talk about all this, believe me, they'll be surprised that you know so much. Okay. Etiquette is equal to anticipation. Let me give you an example. I'm a guest who's sitting alone in a restaurant, okay, and I'm reading a book. Okay, I'm reading a book and I turn one page and I look around. Okay, I turn one page and I look around. All right. And then after that, I'm looking around this and then I see it around. I take another page, I look around and look around again. What is happening to that guest? That guest is feeling bored. That means he's looking for a conversation. That is called anticipation. So maybe a person who's serving in the restaurant, maybe and maybe he's having a cup of tea. So may I get you another cup of tea? Ah, yes, I don't mind. And then you start talking. There's an icebreaker. So is this your first time in the hotel? He'll say, yeah, it is the first time in the hotel. And how about the city? Oh, yes, I think it's the first time in Calcutta as well. So if you are free today, you must not miss to visit the Victoria Memorial. You started to conversate. The guest started to get active. That's called anticipation. Etiquette is nothing but anticipation. We're only wowing the guest to ensure that things are getting more in order. Very, very, very important. All right. That is something which you need to make sure. Perfect. Great. Now, when I say one more in terms of anticipation, let me give another example. And I've learned this purely from Oberoi hotels, and even a lot many more hotels do it. The power of anticipation is so strong that they go ahead to wow the guest by even managing their product. So like for example, I remember a housekeeper is cleaning a room and he sees that his toothpaste, the guest toothpaste, so he has a particular brand, say brand of Colgate, it's over. The housekeeper makes an effort to replace the tube of the Colgate with a new one, putting a small note. So while servicing your room, we noticed that your toothpaste was over, and we took the liberty to replace it. Enjoy your day. The guests used to get so much wow. Look at the level of engagement and anticipation. You're not even talking to the guest, but just by making sure that you're only fulfilling his needs. I remember once I stayed at the Oberoi Grand in Kolkata. I carry a lot of makeup with myself, and I had just stuffed it in my pouch, and I had put it on a little liner, a cloth liner on the vestibule area of the bathroom or in the makeup room. Next morning when I left for work and I returned in the afternoon, you know what I saw? I saw that there was a small little bag and a pouch kept and a little note for myself. Ma'am, we saw that, we thought that this will be very thoughtful from our side to gift you a little pouch for you to put in your makeup. I was so wowed. And this is all comes with the experience. And I'm sure if I go back to Calcutta, I would want to stay at that hotel. Why would I want to do that? Because I have example over here where people are looking after me. They're anticipating my needs. What else do I need? And that's the reason hotels are called home away from home. All right. If you're with me, guys, please write with me. Or if you're learning, please write WL, yes, YL. Can you write YL, yes, learning? YL, yes, learning. So I know that you are with me. All right. Fantastic. So many of you. Thank you so much. That's so kind. So guys, extremely important. And as I say, the rule of etiquette impose guideline and restriction that make interactions seamless. And that's exactly what I'm giving. That gentleman who's on the pool side or in the restaurant, looking here and there, is looking for a conversation. If you see a guest at the main post, looking at his watch, looking around here and there, that means there's some problem. Go to him and say, sir, may I assist you? He said, yes, I'm actually waiting for my cab. It's not come. Let me check that, sir. Is it a hotel cab? Yes, it's a hotel cab. You go quickly to the reception, check on the cab driver, give him the information, sorted. Correct? ऐसे information मिल गई guest को, he is happy. That's what a good behavior, kindness, and good etiquette is. And you know what? That's the secret of a guest coming back to you. That's the secret of just empathizing with the guest. You know, that lady with the kids I told you, she's struggling because bacche ro rahe hain uske, right? She knows that food cannot come in fast. What did the restaurant people do? They gave him some French fries and gave him some toys. The kids are engaged. Mama is happy. She is relaxed. Bacche are happy, right? That's what the power, and that's the magic of hotels. And believe me, it is addictive. It is completely addictive. That's right, Rohit, I agree with you. Good behavior is so important. Okay, so make it a point to do that, and you must ensure that you keep telling this to anybody that you meet. It's not only important in our industry, it's also just important in your day-to-day life. It makes so much of difference to just put smile to people. You know, examples like opening the door for someone. If there's an elderly couple, stop, wish him, let them go, and then you pass. It's these things which really matter a lot, right? Fantastic. That's right, engage. That's a very good point. Engaging and energizing with the guests. That's sorry, your name I cannot read, but yeah, you're right. Jayesh says never make feel guests lonely. Behavior is important. Helpful and helping nature is important. Wow, see, and I love the energy in all of you. Huh? I'm so glad that I'm not the only one taking the session. You're driving it with me. Fantastic. Okay. So guys, we spoke about grooming. What is grooming? Can you talk about grooming? What was the formula I told of grooming? Let me see quickly who does that. And he gets a virtual chocolate. What was the formula of grooming? Formula of grooming was, there were two words that I said. So let me see who's the first one to type it on the chat box. I'm waiting. Fantastic. Shubham gets a virtual chocolate. Sorry, that's what I have. Style and discipline. What about anticipation? What was anticipation? What is anticipation implying to as a formula? Can somebody tell me? Anticipation. Okay, I'm getting a lot of answers for grooming. That's etiquette. Absolutely, Samriddhi, right? And some more little etiquettes that I would want to tell you is, number one, always speak softly. Okay, never be in a loud voice. Always speak softly and clearly. Never murmur. Never be in a very low voice. Make it a point that speak softly. Do not shout. Okay, maintain your poise. Very important. When I say maintain your poise, don't slouch. Don't sit like this. Don't just be sitting like this. Okay, it's so important for you to make sure that you maintain your poise in a correct positive body language. Number three, which is important, is you are in a view of a guest. Okay, so sometimes if you're in the lobby or at the back of the restaurant, always remember your voice, your view could also be there. So make sure that you're your best of your behavior. Never huddle in a group. Okay, that's a rule in the hotel. Of course, now with COVID times, sorry, now with COVID times, you are not allowed to obviously huddle anything, but in a group, there's social distancing which needs to be managed. But it's so important for you to make sure that you don't huddle up in a group. Okay, next, do not grumble, please. Guest does not have time for your attitude. Okay, there are times when a guest could be rude, he could be angry, but you getting angry and grumbling back at him is going to all the more spoil the situation. So make it a point that you never grumble. Okay, last, do not speak poorly about the guest. Second last, sorry. Do not speak poorly about the guest, staff, employees, department, hotel. Never do that. These are all bad etiquettes. Okay. And last but not the least is, we never solicit hints, tips. So please remember, we never say, thank you, sir. My name is Aparna. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And it's damn funny, right? We don't do that. We never solicit tips in 5-star hotels. Never do that. If he really likes the service, he's going to put your name in the comment card, and believe me, you're going to be celebrated in the hotel if your name comes in the comment card. And it's just so easy, because now you know that you need to be styled and disciplined, and at the same time, with a smile, you need to make sure there's a lot of anticipation that comes in, right? Fantastic. Good. So many of you writing so many things. I'm sorry if I couldn't read it. Don't show attitude. Yes, politely and softly. Speak carefully. Speak clearly. Extremely important. Be very specific. In fact, if you visit my YouTube channel, Aparna Pasi, you know, I primarily train students and coach students for preparing them for interviews to get into hotels. I've spoken so many things about which pertains to etiquette. So go and check out some of the videos. Will make a lot of difference in terms of your things. Okay. Now let's talk about health. Health ke liye to everybody is very careful, right? Yes, Jayesh, I'll share the link. Don't worry. Okay. Importance of a healthy start, and this is the last part of a presentation. Okay. It's so important for all of you to make sure that you're healthy. Can I start with a bad news or a bad word that everybody thinks? It's COVID times, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. When I say it's COVID times, that means 2 years, 1 year, or whenever you go for your recruitment or your industrial training, the first check is going to come to you by saying they're going to be checking your immunity. You can't have a poor immunity. So all the more the importance of health is coming. And I think, the best part is I don't have to spend much time explaining this because all of you are naturally now understanding the fact of immunity, right? It is so important. That's right, Brunda, right? Fitness is very important. It is COVID time. So now in the hotels, whenever you go, you may have to submit a COVID negative test. Okay. There are medical tests that happen in the hotel. Even before COVID, the tests as an HR manager of the Oberoi group or any hotel, actually, mostly hotels do that. They will conduct a lot of tests, the fitness tests that they have. They'll obviously check whether you're colorblind or not. Okay. They will check the fact that, your BMI is in order. They will always check on the fact that, you don't have any heart issues or BP issues. And why do they do that? Because hotels is a lot of physical work, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about sitting in an office and working on a computer. Let me tell you, it's a very hard working line where you really need to put in your heart with a lot of smile. There are times when you land up doing 10 hours, 12 hours shift. But if you're satisfied by delighting your guests, by putting up good grooming and etiquettes, believe me, nothing works on that. And it's not only hotels. I think a lot of industries have long hours of working because the performance or there's expectations that you have. So imagine if a person is extremely fat and he's working in a banquet, do you think can he really run around? वो थक जाएगा यार 10 मिनट में. एक सैल्वर उठाया, एक ड्रिंक्स उठाया, रेस्टोरेंट में क्लीनिंग करा, इतना बड़ा सैल्वर में 25 glasses. I'm about 5'3" in my height, but I remember when I used to work at the Taipan during my OCLD training, I remember I used to have that big American salver. I used to carry 25 glasses together. Energy makes a lot of difference, right? So it's very important. And to have the energy, guys, you cannot mask it with makeup or putting powder every time. It is so important for you to have a clear skin. And I already see somebody writing it, have lots of water. Yes, you're right. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen, to drink water at least 8 glasses every day. Okay. So make it a point that you're manage your weight. Do not hire ladies who are less than 45 kgs. Yes, I'm actually talking a fact. Or they will not hire gentlemen who are less than 50 kg. Okay, that means you need to be fit. You need to have an ideal BMI. What is BMI? The relationship between your height and weight, right? Extremely important. Because as I said, all this go hand in hand with hotel operations. So very important for all of you to do that. And see, everybody's talking about healthy food. And today, though, people talk about so many. So some of the healthy habits that you must have, please drink Sevice water. Sorry. I always do that. Never dehydrate. And in hotels, the best part is, hotels are very nurturing in nature, guys. They do a lot for employee engagement. When I was a training manager at the Oberoi Dubai, I remember when we were opening the entire hotel, we made it a point that however the back area is laid out, it has to be very employee friendly. Okay? Because if a person is coming onto the shift and he's working so hard, there has to be water counters behind, right? So availability is there. I also remember we used to have grooming kits placed in the various back areas. We used to have deodorants. We used to have, a small little makeup kit for ladies. So if you have to quickly refresh your makeup, because you may not be able to go back to the locker room to do that. So hotels are very nurturing in terms of that, to make sure that you look good, you feel good, so that, there's good guest experience that you deliver. So drink Sevice water. That is something which is very important. Clean your skin after returning from work or at the end of the day. I always do that. However tired I am, it's just so important for you to clean your skin. And I would highly recommend you to not maybe do it just with soapy water. If you could maybe take a little natural scrub, makes a lot of difference. Make sure that you take out the pores, because it just helps you to do that, and massage your face with oil. Maybe coconut oil is the best, or castor oil, or maybe a moisturizer cream of your preference. But always do that, because it makes a lot of difference. In fact, I recommend everybody to maybe there's so many natural face packs that you can do it at home. That makes a lot. A curd and a basin really helps. It helps you to put glow on your skin. Very important. Okay. So clean your skin. Never just sleep like that, especially ladies. your kajal, your eyeliner, your lipstick needs to be removed. Otherwise, that gets starts sedimented on it, right? Thank you, Satvik. Thank you. I know you agree with me. Thank you. Okay. Next, maintain a good oral hygiene, please. Why do I say that? Because you meet guests, you smile, you can't afford to have a bad breath. And let me tell you, as Indians now, we should have we actually have very staunch food habits. We have garlic, we put ginger, we put haldi, we put so many masalas na smell aati hai, correct? So it's very important for us to brush teeth at night and in the day. In fact, we used to keep, for our hotel employees in our hotels, we used to keep Listerine bottles. You know, the training department used to give small Listerine bottles to them as a start of the welcome kit and tell them, after lunch, please gargle. And you don't have to really have somebody giving you that. This should be your basic, correct? If you smoke, I would ideally say do not avoid smoking and drinking. But if you smoke, please make it sure you have an after mint. Least you would want is that you're smelling and somebody coming out. And especially in today's time, guys, everybody's coming to you because of hygiene, right? So let me see so many of writing mouth spray. Somebody says mouth spray. Yeah, that's right. Do face wash, put eyes at night. That's a fantastic way, correct? It helps so much, guys. Okay. Eat right. A lot of you have spoken about eat right, eat healthy, eat right. Very important. Do not overeat. See, I'm not saying ki junk food bilkul band kar do. I know we do get attracted to habit, but if you eat much, then make it a point that you burn out that much as well. Because the reason I'm only stressing on it is, guys, because in our industry in hotels, there's a lot of physical work required, and you can't afford to get tired or maybe be unwell. Then you'll not be able to do well or meet up the demands on that, right? So make sure that you eat right. There's a balanced diet that you have. Do not have excess of rice every day. Do not have excess of carbohydrates every day. Have a well balanced diet. But eat, don't skip meals. I'll give you my example. When I used to be the banquet manager of the Oberoi Grand Hotel, I remember I got into a habit of munching. You know, I used to just munch food anytime and anywhere because it used to be so busy. So my entire eating habit went for a toss, because at the lunch time मुझे भूख ही नहीं लगती थी. Already इतना 11 बजे कुछ खा लिया, 10 o'clock कुछ खा लिया, 8 o'clock कुछ खा लिया, right? कभी tea ले लिया. It was just not putting me right. And then, you know, you start to show that on your face very well. That's right, Shubham. So it is all about balance. Don't overeat. So it's so important for you to maintain these timings on that, right? I would always say, if you don't have time for exercise, do basic exercise. Can you all do this? You know, and I'm someone who does yoga and believe very well in that, because I think it's helped me so much to keep myself fit and well. If nothing, just get up on the bed, stretch yourself a little bit, make it a point that you put your hands at the back. All right, stretch your legs, get up as much as you can, touch your toe as much as you can go. Just do that. Just stretch yourself a little bit. Your body needs a stretch. आप एक डब्बे में रह सकते हो क्या? एक घंटे से ज्यादा, 2 घंटे, 4 दिन थोड़ा stretch करना पड़ता है ना. It's the same funda with the body as well. Okay, and breathing exercise. I always tell a lot of my students, if you're unable to get into any kind of physical activity, वैसे ये possible नहीं है. I don't think so. We don't have time कि हम physical activity नहीं कर सकते. But अगर लग रहा है कि नहीं है, just breathe. Even if you're traveling in a train or in an auto or in a cab, okay, just make it a point. You sit there and you just breathe. Okay, breathe in, breathe out. Makes so much a difference. This pranayam, all you have to do is just you know, with the help of your finger, close one of the nostrils and breathe in and breathe out. There's a pattern that you have. It does fantastic results, guys. Trust me, it does fantastic result. Okay, that is something which is very important. Okay, so Shubham, I'm so sorry you can't even stay at home. Don't worry, the normalcy is coming back. I'm sure you can travel the wings around back. Okay, then one last point. Complete your responsibilities. Now, put me a yes or no on the chat box, guys. If you're happy in your personal life, that automatically trickles and reflect in your professional life, or vice versa. अगर कोई काम पे बहुत ज़्यादा stressed है, घर पे आके भी वो stress आता ही आता है, correct? Because somewhere or the other, you're unable to complete your responsibilities. You know, I always say this to the students. Maybe, you know, especially in today's time, help your mother to clean that fan. Help her to cook a meal. If, you know, or maybe, you know, your spouse or anybody, help them to, you just, you know, just be with them when they are required, because you're completing your basic responsibilities. Go and grab some groceries someday, say, I'll do it. All you're going to get is a lot of love and maybe, you know, a lot of a good meal cooked by a mom. So complete your responsibilities, because when you do that, there's a sense of satisfaction. Now, a lot of you ask sometimes, ma'am, sometimes we have a lot of tensions at home, right? There's a lot of stress at home. What do we do then? And I tell them that's fine. You cannot control the situation, right? But what can you do? You can only contribute your part to it. You can maybe contribute by suggesting something. You can maybe contribute by doing your bit. You can maybe contribute by making the environment a little bit more better. Trust me, guys, you have the solution. If you have the solution to do it, you have the potential to make sure that you can disturb and not disturb a situation. And last but not the least is, it's so important for you to organize your day. If you think that I am a person who can get somebody, or I am a person who gets up at 4 in the morning, does yoga, मैं yoga भी कर लेती हूँ, मैं काम भी कर लेती हूँ, मैं घर का भी काम कर लेती हूँ, professional भी कर लेती हूँ, webinars भी कर लेती हूँ, I am a magician. I'm not a magician. I'm only managing my time very well. It is so important for all of you to do that. And you know what the secret of organizing is? It's very important to make sure that you complete the urgent and important things first. पहले urgent चीज और important वो करो, वो चीजें मत करो जो not urgent, not important. What is not urgent, not important? Scrolling through the stories of the Instagram, looking at Netflix, looking at YouTube, anything or the other. 5 मिनट और सो जाता हूँ मैं, 15 मिनट और सो जाता हूँ, कल कर लेंगे, परसों कर लेंगे, right? So that is so important for you to understand. Organize your day very well. Satvik, no grins and smile. We have to make sure we do that. Yeah, that's right, Weber. Time management is a skill. And time management is nothing. And I'll give you a formula of time management out of the webinar today. It's doing urgent and important things first, because things which are important and are done first, you feel very happy. Ye ho gaya yaar, chalo. Okay, so write urgent and important to understand what is time management. Quickly, I want people to put it on the chat box. Urgent and important. Do urgent and important things first, because then it gives you a sense of satisfaction that yes, I've done on it. Fantastic. Thank you, Shantanu. Thank you, Shubham. Organize your day. Organize the right things at the right time will make a lot of difference. Fantastic. So these are some of the habits that I was talking. And if you can please avoid smoking and drinking, I think that will be great. It helps you. You know, smoking and drinking is like fly now, pay later. Abhi to nahi farak padega, baad mein hoga. Okay. So just see, please curb your habits of smoking and drinking. Very, very important. Okay. So guys, this is what I, in a nutshell, if I have to really say, it's just so important, to look good. What is looking good ka formula? Can everybody put it? What is grooming ka formula? I told you, when I say look good, it's a combination of, you can just write initials if you want, and you can type. And I know people are typing right now. Let me see who gets the first virtual chocolate. Let me see who gets style and discipline. Fantastic, right? So if you look good, guys, you look good, you feel good. Okay, it's a look good, feel good principle, right? When you feel good, then you start anticipating and start putting up your good etiquettes. Okay, because if you feel good, you do good, because you're all on stage. Okay, interviews, whether it is the fact that how you're going to be performing, it's just so important for you to do that. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, with this I finish up my webinar. I have few things to add on at the end, and if you allow me to do that, please just say I allow you. I can do that if you want to see that. In addition to this, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, in this lockdown from the month of March, I've helped and trained so many students, not only hotel management, but MBA colleges students, to understand what is the importance to grow towards the passion, okay, about the interviews. And we all know that we all live two lives, right? We all live two lives, the life that we dream and the life that we are actually living. I always say dream well, okay? So there are two lives that we live. One is the life we are living, and the second life is we are dreaming. And can I tell you something? The life that you're dreaming, okay, will only come with the action or involvement. It is not going to come soche. And right now, I think at your age, what is very important right now, that you get through and learn the basics, etiquettes of hotels, so that you make a good impression on the interview and you get through a job. Agree or not? Can I have yes or no on the chat box? Quickly, if I can have some yes or no on the chat box, right? So very important, right? So if you want to live your second dream, it's so important for you that you prepare. And believe me, COVID time has been a blessing for students in terms of online learning. So much of learning that has happened in the last couple of months. I've seen so much of learning that has happened with the student. So guys, if you wish to connect with me later after this, I take a lot of webinars for the students. There's so many students who are fulfilling their dreams. They come, they talk, we interact, we do so much of sessions onto that. A lot of good feedback that comes in. You can visit my LinkedIn profile. That's Aparna Pasi Ghosh. You can see the kind of work that we have. I keep doing a lot of webinars. Connect with me on Instagram at aparna.pasi. You can also connect with Mr. Rajan Kanitkar. I work with him at Third Gram Consulting at Rajan Kanitkar. I have our numbers also at the end and you can note them down. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, Aparna Pasi, with a lot of good learning that you have. And I keep putting a lot of updates onto that. Okay. We do a lot of enlightening webinars. We did session on resume writing. And if you go on my Instagram, you'll keep to getting know what are the webinars so that you can come quickly log on and attend. And there'll be a registration link for you to do it. We did something very new, which is called Resume, which is a video resume. Okay. It's COVID times. So these days we no more have many of written resumes. We'll have resumes that are coming. That was another good workshop that we had. We did public speaking in new normal. So there's so many things that is we keep doing in terms of that. And we're going to have a very soon on 10th of November, a webinar only for 99 rupees. It's called Pull the Plug, where you're going to know what is the expectation of a student from the management. I think it's a fantastic opportunity, guys. I'm going to put up the link for you to register, or if you wish to do that, I'm going to put up my number on the last slide. You can call me up, ask me, ma'am, I wish to attend, and you can quickly go and register yourself on that. Okay, that is one. Also, as I said, I think from the lockdown, I think I would have helped and trained over good 2,000 students to help them to get to the dream. So guys, if you want, there's a pre-Diwali bonanza that is there. I'm bringing you a knit and a special 4-session program. Okay, it's like a crash course. Okay, I'm someone who's worked at the Oberoi hotels at the Marriott group, and I understand the part of HR and recruiting. So I know that what is the need from a student that is there. So it's a 4-session that we are doing at about 1199. It's a 4-session master class that we'll be doing, and the batches are starting post Diwali. Okay, session 1 would be on corporate grooming. Abhi, I've just covered a very small part of grooming, but corporate grooming is about good 2.5 hours. Then we have a master class on body language. There's interview master tips. And of course, there'll be a mock interview session. But if you come in a pair, then you only pay 999 each for that session. So if you're interested, you can comment up and put up my number. More than happy to help you. There are already so many students who've enrolled for this program. I think it's just going to help you to streamline and understand what is that it is required. So I just want to ask you one thing. Do you get energy with me right now? Are you getting energized with me? If you write energy with me, I want you to put energy on the chat box. Anybody, if you get that energy, put energy on the chat box. Can you do that? Yes, you're saying on that. Okay. Energy, right? So imagine if you can get energy with me in last 1 hour, what kind of energy will you get with me if I meet you week on week to train you on that? Okay. So I look forward to see most of you. I'm going to put your link to Professor Sunita. Okay. And she can circulate it to you. And if you are more than interested, let me know. That's my number and Mr. Kanitkar's number as well. You can get in touch with any one of us. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. You can connect with us on Instagram. Instagram is the best because then, you get to know a lot of information and connect with me. Happy time for all of you. And yes, I'm open for questions and answers. I see Ashima already there coming to tick me off. Ma'am, you've already crossed the limit of 1 hour.
Not at all. Not at all. You can carry on.
That's very kind.
If
so
anybody has any questions,
I'm
go
done.
ahead.
I'm done. Thank you.
All right.
I'll just quickly write
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Aparna Pasi, for sharing your knowledge and experience about the way you look and the way you move in the social circle makes a huge impact. Thank you for sharing some light on personal branding and customer service. I'm sure the session has been very fruitful for our students. Thank you so much from Team BVDU IHMCT for all the time and the efforts you've taken. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Have a very nice day. And I look forward some of you connecting with me. Good luck. Somebody had asked me for my LinkedIn, for my YouTube channel. It's just Aparna Pasi. I think it was Jayesh. Aparna Pasi. That's what the YouTube channel is. Okay. So thank you. Thank you guys. Good luck. Do well,
you, ma'am.
be well, because that is something which is so important. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.